Hi, this is Carlos. I'm gonna talk about my case study number three. I needed to pick between five experiments. I needed to pick three, and I picked the first three. The key findings were really interesting, but the reason why I picked these three experiments is because of the topics. They were topics that I wasn't that familiarized, and I needed to practice more. So I used it with real clients. Um, so the first one that I did was the hunting mindset, the first experiment. I needed to know my client, to explore the realms of growth and the fixed mindset, to see the difference. I always start my session like that. And I use the change capacity assessment just to understand why they are, where they are, and the mindset itself, right? So before I start guiding them, I navigate them through the assessment, and introduce all the ideas for him to actually talk to me and discuss, and then I will learn how he will react towards a challenge, right, or a barrier. What I notice is that they have many, right? They react depending of the if they are in a familiar territory, or if they are in an unfamiliar, they have a fixed mindset already towards that, right? When they face something that is unknown, they already really fixed, right? I in this moment I just try to recognize patterns and sparkling this desire for them to change, right? In my reflection of this experiment is like, it reinforced to me the importance of tailored coaching, like going more client center, let them realize what they're looking for or tie things. Um, it also makes me realize that if we work on this, you end up promoting resilience and their own, like it's like self-awareness. They want to improve by themselves, right? So that's really strong for me, really powerful. So I really like this experiment. For the second experiment, I first just scanned the situation. It was more about body awareness, right? So I wanted to explain a bit about the psychology and the behavior awareness, and I used the behavior awareness worksheet, um, just to connect with the client, what sensations bring certain behaviors and enhance their self-awareness, right? um, we identify later those behaviors and what behaviors they wanted to change or how they wanted to see themselves. um, we mapped out the physical precursors of those behaviors, and we make those connections, right? So once they make those connections, the client got surprised. They start understanding better their own self, right? What I found was like sensations like anxiety, like feeling hungry, were really linked with certain things, um, with certain actions throughout the day, right? The day. Um, so once they become really aware of that, they were actually finding some solution by themselves, and I just needed to map that out and take some notes, and at the end, go for a typical solution, right? What I found after this experiment is like, it's really hard to talk about body awareness and understanding why it's important and why it's creating certain problems with you. But it's also a really powerful reminder of how body and mind are connected, and how as coaches we have the ability to help them go through all this process, right? And the experiment three is like the willpower. um, I will go for this topic with my client. What I did is have a conversation, right? And we wanted to take away this myth and rebuild an empowering understanding, right, of how is to be strong, how is to have willpower. um, I engaged with conversations with him about willpower, challenge them to rethink something that they already thought it was true, right? Relearn or redefine a concept based of their experience or their aspirations as person, as a what is the main goal, right? Um, they At the beginning, my client always sees like, oh, it's a lot of work, I need to be really stoic, right? But after the we start talking, they just open up and they have a bigger and better perspective. And they realize that building this willpower will take time and it will be one by one, right? It's something that they need to develop, right? It's a strength over time. And the what I noticed, that my personal reflection about this is like, willpower, it's really strong, right? It will change you. um it shift the typical mentality of limitation to what is your real potential, right? So it will emphasize growth and resilience instead of just working towards um, limits, failure, right? That's why it was really important for me, um, to talk about this with a client and see how powerful it is to talk about resilience, to talk about how they're gonna improve and what techniques they're gonna use, and not focus in what was wrong or what things you didn't do right, right? It's like staying in the positive, right? um, I think for me that changed also the outcome goal, right? Like how you see the outcome goal and how you should go through all the process step by step. um, this case study that shows me these three experiments, right? Like, it made me realize that the focus is not in fixing, is more in finding how to make a client realize their full potential and how to help themselves, right? Like, I was always in this mindset of just fixing. And after these three experiments, I just see that there's another way, there's another perspective to let them find that solution. But I also find that it's really mental, right? It's really here. Um, that you can control the internal and the external factors that are gonna interfere with your day, right? But at the end of the day, is how you see it. Um, and the body awareness, the willpower, and having this growth mindset, they can go actually together. And I now can use certain techniques that I use for this client to the other client, right? And then um, go in depth with the human psyche, right? Like, just what really uh, what's the real problem, right? And it reminded me how important is personal development, and it's always growing, right? Because when I was hearing what my clients were telling me, um, I found ways to link that with my own personal experience or with an old client or a current client, and then just put them together to find a solution, right? Um, and when I found the solution, instead of just saying it and imposing to my clients, I just realized that I have now more tools for them to find that answer by themselves, right? And that's why I use a lot of spreadsheets. I use a lot of techniques of letting them talk and finding um, in what stage they are in pre-contemplation, contemplation, if they are in action, or if they're gonna relapse, sorry, how they're gonna come back, right? And continue. And they, if they fail, is not to feel bad, is to learn and continue going, right? It was great for me to see these three different problems with three different clients, and then just finding these solutions. Thank you.